Hello everyone, good evening. Just give me a minute. Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to this session. This session is about automating administration using Windows PowerShell. My name is Sheikh Dawood. So I'm going to have a short introduction about myself and then we are going to get started. So about me, I am a Microsoft certified trainer. I have more than 14 years of experience in the industry. I worked at different levels of administration, right from L1 to L3. And the same Windows PowerShell training I've delivered for I delivered for different corporates. So I have experience training from the basic level to advanced level and of different domains as well. So when I say different domain, that includes Active Directory, Exchange Server, Office 365, VMware, Citrix, etc. So as you know, PowerShell is span across so many different technologies. So as I just mentioned, different technologies like AD Exchange, Office 365. You just take any technology, PowerShell module is there for sure. So now who is going to be benefited out of this training, or who or for whom this training will be a best to suit? It's like if you are a Wintel administrator or a VMware administrator. So now as we know that the Wintel and the on-premises technology itself is diminishing a lot. So if you're a cloud administrator, so it could be a software as a service like Office 365, or if it is infrastructure as a service like Azure. So if you want to do your administration or automation using PowerShell in these technologies, this training will be a huge benefit for you, because here we are going to talk about how to make things easier. Because you all know, like, there are two ways of administration. Like, one is the GUI model and the other one is the CLI model. So GUI model, even if you train a fresher, they can also do it. But how you can be better from the crowd is that when you know administration via the CLI, and when you know to perform an automation using PowerShell, that's when you will be able to make a difference. So if you are an administrator who is very much comfortable with GUI, so now I know people who are like extremely comfortable with GUI. They have been working as an administrator for so many years now. Now the industry is changing. As we all know that the DevOps culture is now, in fact, not it's not booming. It's already there in the market. So now, if you are an administrator, it is mandatory that you should know something in terms of the development as well. So for the development, at least you should know things about the PowerShell. Okay, so when I say if you want to learn something into development, PowerShell could be a good start, because if you know one language, it could be any language. Learning another language is very easy, which I did myself. So I learned PowerShell, and the other languages, it could be Shell, it could be Perl, it could be any other language, it could be Python. It is very easy to learn because the components are all the same. When I say components, components like the operators, the variables, if statement, do statement, while statement, everything these are the components of any language that you take it. So when you learn one language, let's say when you learn PowerShell, other language is just a matter of comparison. And also this PowerShell is a very, very simplified form of a language. And so you will be able to understand, you will be able to learn that easily because Microsoft has designed in that way that they know that this language is for the administrators and they made it extremely easy. So for an example, let's take shell scripting. So we all know that shell is a case sensitive language and you're not allowed to use an uppercase. Whereas here in PowerShell, it is a case insensitive language. You can use it in any case that you like it. Okay, same for an example, if you want to compare the Python versus PowerShell, in Python, you have to provide an indentation. You have to give it space when you are writing a looping statement. But here, there is no need to provide a space. Just you add a bracket, then that will do the job. So like that, so many disadvantages from different languages solved are sorted out in PowerShell to make it extremely simple and handy for the administrators to use it. Okay, so that is the idea over here. And as I mentioned that if you're an administrator who is very comfortable saying like, hey, I know how to download a script and I know how to edit it. But when you ask me to write everything from the scratch, from a blank notepad, I don't know how to do it. Okay, so that's when the challenge is all about. Okay, so if we download a script, make the changes here and there, and getting the script to work is no big deal. Anyone can do it. So the real challenge is like when you start writing everything from the scratch, then only you will be able to take the credit of the work that you do. Okay, so but if there is a script, if you understand in and out of it, so download, I'm not saying that you should not download a script. Yes, you are allowed to download a script, but before you execute it, you should know what is inside the script. Say, what is the meaning of a percentage? What is the meaning of a dot? What is the meaning of a question mark? What is the meaning of a single quotes? What is the meaning of a double quotes? What is it doing within your script? What is it doing at that particular place within the script? If you know that, which is very, very good. So that is the understanding, that is the level what the industry is looking for. If you know that, because blindly running a script, it's no big deal. But when you know what is inside, how the script is flowing, what is happening at each line, what are the components, say this is an input statement, this is an output statement, this is where the file is getting imported, this is where the file is getting exported, this is the function, like that. If you know the concepts, which will be very, very helpful for you to survive in the industry. Right. So as I just mentioned, like these are few technologies which PowerShell is span across. And if you are any administrator, learning PowerShell will be definitely an added advantage. All right. So what are the topics that we are going to cover in this course is like we will start off with PowerShell. So let's say if you tell me that, hey, I have never ever wrote a script in my lifetime. Okay, it's totally fine. So what is that we are going to start? We are going to start from the grassroots level. So you say that, hey, I never ever wrote a script. That's totally fine. I never ever wrote a command. That is totally fine. If you know the basics of what is what, hey, I know how to do things on the GUI. Okay, let's say I know how to create a user on Active Directory on the GUI. Very good. Yes, you are ready for the course, saying that, yes, I will tell you how you can transform that GUI administration into a CLI administration. We will do that. Okay, so this transformation is what we are doing over here, provided if you know how to do things on the GUI side, yes, we are going to do the transformation on the CLI side. That is the plan over here. So we are going to talk about how we can use the internal help repository, which I will tell you, and then how to learn from the syntax. Because if you know the syntax of a commandlet, what is that I tell is like, if you know how to read a manual of a product, okay, let's say you purchase, okay, let's say you purchase a air fryer. So if you know how to read the manual and if you know how to make the best use of that product, then you can use that product in a better way. So that's when you know how to read the help of a commandlet, you can use that commandlet in a better way. So that's what you're going to see, like how you can learn from the syntax and how you can make use of the examples that are available. And we will start off with a very simple basic one-liner commandlet. We will start, and then we will move on with a very commonly used commandlets, day-to-day administration, like about the services, about the process, like the event viewer, which we use it. And then we will slowly move on in framing a single line commandlet. We will do it, and then we will move on to the operators, like how we can add more and more ideology to our script. We will be talking about the arithmetic operation operators, comparison operators, logical operators like and operator or operator. We will talk about, and then we will start off with a very simple and small scripts, okay, saying that how to add two numbers, and then we will start developing that. Okay, we will start developing that into a large functional scripts, and then we'll talk about the input statement, output statement by making the scripts dynamic. We'll talk about the variables. So this is what I'm telling as a components. This is what I'm telling as a components of a language. You take any language in the world, it will have these components. So when you learn the components in one language, another language is just a matter of comparison. Okay, so for example, how the comparison operators are defined, how comparison operators are defined in PowerShell. If you know, you can understand how comparison operators are defined in other language like Shell, like Python, etc. And just a matter of comparison, wherever you want to use it, you can use it. Same goes for the other operators as well. And then variables. So we'll talk about how variables you can use it, what is the definition, and what are the different types, etc. And then comes the conditional and the looping statement, like your if statement, else if, else, do while, for, switch, for each, while, try catch, etc. Okay, all these falls into the looping and the conditional statements. And then we'll talk about the functions and the parameters, like how you can define how you can create a function and how you can call the function at different places, how you can make a function permanent, and how you can create your function, make it permanent, and also how you can create your own parameters. All those things we will talk about. And then the remote management, because like we are all administrators, right? And the most important thing is like how you can manage the machines remotely. Then we'll talk about the domain specific modules. Like if you are a specific administrator, let's say you are a AD administrator, or you say you are a Office 365 or any sort of administrator, how we can perform actions with respect to a specific domain, we'll talk about. And then we'll talk about the WMI, Windows Management Instrumentation, and we'll talk about the DSC, desired state configuration, and we'll talk about the workflows, and we'll talk about the Windows forms. So these are the contents of this course. Okay, so this is what we are going to learn. And if it's not weekdays as such, I'll just correct it. So it is a 40 hours course. Okay, it is a 40 hours course, and because it has Okay. So it's a 40 hours course. So approximately we will be covering it 2 hours. Okay, so we'll be covering 2 hours, and it will take 20 days for you to complete this course. Okay, so make a note of Amit's number. I'm sure you should be having Amit's number. So please make a note of it and please contact him. And we are going to, anyways, we will start the class today itself. And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop a message on the chat. And anyways, we are going to get started, and I will keep an eye on the chat window as well, so that if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer the questions also. So course fees details. Anyways, Amit is the account manager, so he will provide you all the details related to the course. So ping him on WhatsApp, or you can call him. You will be able to get more details about the course and the schedule. All right. So let's get started. So we are going to get started with PowerShell. So let me launch PowerShell. Okay. So I just launched PowerShell. Okay, so I launched it as an administrator. Okay, so I launched it as an administrator over here, but yes, you can launch it as a normal user or administrator. But we will also talk about the difference as well. We'll talk about the difference, like what if you log in as administrator and what if you log in as a normal user, and what are the differences. We will talk about that as well. So first, what is it I'm going to do is that we are going to talk to this machine. Okay, we are going to talk to this machine, saying like we are going to establish a communication. Okay, so what is it we are going to do is that we are going to establish a communication. So the very first thing that we are going to do is that we are going to ask for the details, like how we are going to do it, saying like when you walk into a restaurant. Okay, when you walk into a restaurant and you ask for a menu card, right? So what is the idea of a menu card? Menu card shows the capability of that restaurant. So same way, what is it we are going to do? We are going to ask for the details. We are going to ask for, hey, tell me what are the things that you can do. That's what we are going to ask from this PowerShell. So I type in get hyphen command. So you can also do this parallelly with me. So open PowerShell and start doing this parallelly and tell me what you see as a result. So type in get hyphen command, and it is not case sensitive. You can type it in any case that you like it. So it's not case sensitive. It's totally. Do you all see here? Mhm. Okay. So now what is it I just did was that I typed in get hyphen command, and I got the complete results over here. Okay, so what it has shown over here is that it has shown the complete list of commands available on this particular machine. Okay, so it's not that it has shown all the commands, and like the way how we have different menu cards in different restaurant. Okay, like how we have different menu card in different restaurants. Same thing over here, that we have different set of commandlets available for different machines. Okay, so depending upon what module is installed, so we will be able to get the list of commandlets as a result. Okay, that is the idea over here. Now, what is it I'm going to do? Let's say I want to do something related to service. Okay, let's say I want to perform something related to service, which means, as I mentioned to you, saying that we know how to do things. Okay, we know how to do things related to service on the GUI. Okay, now we want to perform something related to. Okay, so Abhi, yes, you're right. So that's what I mentioned. Like, depending upon which module is installed on your computer, so your results will show depending upon that. So as you could see on my machine, you could see so many things related to different modules, right? So depending upon what is installed on your computer, you will see modules according to that. Okay, that's the idea. Now, now I have a huge list of commandlets and I want to do something related to service. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you is that, let's say I know how to open the service. Okay, I know how to open the service on the GUI. Okay, so we all know how to open the service on the GUI mode. Now the question is like, how can we open the same on the CLI mode, which is PowerShell? So now what that I'm going to do is that I am going to ask for anything and everything that is related to service. Okay, what is this asterisk over here? What is this star symbol over here? Is that the star symbol denotes the wildcard character. Okay, what I'm looking for is that within the bunch of command, I'm asking that, hey, you give me anything that is related to service. Okay, so many things came up. All right, now as you could see that every commandlet, as you could see over here, don't worry about the application. Okay, we are concentrating only onto the commandlet. So every commandlet that you see over here, so all these commands are having a structure. Okay, all these commands are having a structure. What is the structure? Is like there is a word and then followed by, okay, there is a word and there is something which is hyphen followed by another word. Okay, so now like this, one word hyphen another word. So what is the structure is called as verb hyphen noun. Verb hyphen noun is the design structure of a commandlet. You just take any commandlet. Okay, you take any commandlet from any technology. Okay, it will follow the same design. Okay, that is the idea over here. So every commandlet will follow the verb noun design. Okay, and also what I generally do during our class is that I open the notepad and I start writing the important points, and whatever we are doing the topics, I will be writing it over here so that you will have notes and the recordings handy with you. So as you could see that this session is getting recorded over here. So as in when I take the class, session will be recorded and I will be writing notes parallelly so that you will be able to refer it later. Okay, so this structure is called as a verb noun. So list of verbs, as you could see, verbs example, as you could see over here. See this? Restart, resume, remove, set, start, stop. All these are examples of a verb. Say like get, set, remove, restart. All these are called as the verbs. Okay. Now, as you could see this get. So what is meaning of get is that to view something. Okay. So to view something is called as a get. Okay. So now I'm going to filter the command in this way because we would like to only view the service. Okay. The thing is like we want to view the service, right? So what is it I'm going to do? Something like this, saying the same one. I type it like this. What do you think is the meaning of this? Is like, I want all the commandlets which start with get and it can have something called as, it should have something called as service in between. Okay, it should have something called as service in between. Okay, that is the idea over here. Okay, that is the logic about this. So that's the way we search. That's the way we search for the commandlets over here. Okay, so now let me hit enter. See this? So what is it I did was like I searched for anything that starts with the word get and it can contain a word called as service in here. Okay, that is the logic over here. So now as you could see, it gave us the result like this. So I got a result, something called as get-service. Now what I do, I run the command called get-service. Okay, so what is the logic over here is that we know how to, okay, we know how to view the list of services. Okay, we know how to view the list of services on the GUI. Now you know how to view the list of services on the PowerShell as well. Okay, just that, okay, just that you have to find the command. Okay, probably you might be saying, hey, I know this command, I've used it, which is okay. But what I'm trying to tell you is that how to explore a new commandlet. Okay, how can you search for a new commandlet and get the job done is what I'm trying to tell you. Because we don't memorize all the commands, right? Sometimes you have to search for a commandlet all by yourself. So from the scratch is what we are just doing over here. The same I just did over here. Okay, so let me type in get hyphen command is what I did. Get hyphen command start service start is what I did. Get hyphen command get service is what I did. Okay. Now let's try to do, okay, let's try to do another action over here. So we all know how to open a task manager. Okay, so we all know how to open a task manager and we know how to view the list of services. Okay, we all know how to view the list of services, I mean, not the services, the list of processes that are available over here, which are currently running onto your system. Now, the ideology is that how you can view this bunch of process. Okay, how you can view this bunch of process via PowerShell is the requirement over here. So now, as I told about a hint, when I say hint, when I just told you that how, or the keyword I just mentioned is like the process. So now same thing, I'm going to do it over here. See this? What is a keyword? It's called process. Get hyphen command and then star process. Okay. So now I hit enter. Okay. So what are the results that we have? We have the results, and we have the results like this. As I told you, we are going to only view the bunch of process. Okay. So that's why we are going to do something called as this get hyphen process. Okay. That's the idea over here. I say get hyphen process. So what is very important is like searching is like you should know how to search for something. Okay, you should know how to search for the required details is what is the idea over here. Okay, so now I just did get hyphen process and we got the results over here. Okay, so now I just did get hyphen command star process. Okay, now the third one, I'm going to do something related to, okay, I'm going to do something related to the event viewer. Okay, so what is a shortcut of event viewer is event VWR. Okay, it's called the event VWR. When I hit enter, I got the, okay, I got the event viewer window open. Now the question is like, how do we see the same thing? How do we see the same results with respect to PowerShell? Okay, how can we see the same results on PowerShell is what we are going to see over here. Okay, so now same ideology, get hyphen command, and then I say star event star. Okay, and I hit enter. And also before I hit enter, what is the requirement as we are doing? We are looking only for the get commands. So I say get. Okay, I say get, and then I'm writing down the commandlet over here like this. Okay, so as you could see over here, few commandlets like get hyphen event, like get hyphen event log, event subscriber, win event, like this different commandlets we have it. Now I take this command called as get hyphen event. Okay, we did not get a result. Okay, we did not get a result. So now the question is why there is no result. Okay, now the question is why there is no result is a question. Okay, now when I do get hyphen event log, so it is asking for it is asking for something when I go for, it's asking for some detail when I go for get-event log. So now what is the question over here is that why get-event is not giving us a result? Because it looks like a very genuine commandlet. Okay, so it looks like, okay, it looks like a very genuine commandlet, but when I run it, it doesn't show us any result. Okay, but the get-event log looks to be a genuine one, but is asking for something which we don't know what is it. Okay, so how to learn about, how to learn about a commandlet is using, how to learn about a commandlet is using the help structure. So now on this particular prompt, I pressed Control C. Okay, I pressed Control C and I came out of it. Okay, so now what is it I'm going to do is that get hyphen command. I'm trying to check if there is anything related to the help structure. Okay, I'm trying to check if there is anything related to a help structure over here. Okay, so now I hit enter. So as you could see, there are few commandlets related to help, say like the get help, save help, update help, etc. Okay, so now what is it I'm going to do? I say get hyphen help of a commandlet. So for which commandlet you want to see the help, let's say the commandlet called as get-event. Okay, so as you could see here that I did a help structure. Okay, I did a help structure. I did a help structure for the commandlet called get-event. And we got a result like this. Okay, so what is very important, which we will do in our class as in when we move on, is like to understand how to read this help. Okay, so as you could see, we had a question saying that why this get-event is not giving us any result. Okay, the answer is right over here. It is very clearly mentioned by the developer saying that this commandlet does not give events from the event viewer logs. Okay, because that is not designed to do that. So even if you try 100 times also, it will not do. So that is the design of it. So when you know how a product works, you will make use of that product in a better way. So you, even if you try 100 times do something onto a product which does not do, there's no point in trying. That's the same thing over here. So it clearly says like this commandlet does not give events from the event viewer logs. If you want the logs, it's recommending us to go with these commandlets. Okay, so we will understand how this syntax works. What is the meaning of this syntax? What are the components of this syntax? We are going to learn. We will learn as when we move on. So, okay, so now this is a help structure. Now, if you could see, probably when you run it, in case if you are doing things parallelly with me, so when you run this, can you tell me, do you see synopsis? Can you try? Okay, so Abhi, don't worry. Anyways, I'll tell you the differences between the commandlets, aliases, functions, everything. I'll tell you the difference. Plus, we will also use that as well. Okay, and we will also create that as well in as in when we move on. Okay, so team, when you run this command, let get-help get-event, tell me what happens on your PowerShell. Is that prompting for you to update the help? First question, is that prompting you to update the help is what is happening, or do you see synopsis? If you see the result, do you see synopsis or not is the question. So if you don't see synopsis, which is okay, which is there is a reason for it, like why you are not seeing the synopsis. Okay, and if it is asking you to update the help, which means you can see that it is trying to execute the command called as update-help is what is happening. So all these things we will discuss, and we will talk about that as and when we move on. I'll try to keep it simple, so I'll not move too much further, because like we'll definitely talk about this as and when we move on. So this is the idea. I'm just trying to give you a glimpses on how the course will be, how the interaction will be. Okay, as you could see that this session will be recorded, and the recording will be shared to you, and you'll be granted access to the recording for future references. Okay, so again, I'm putting Amit's contact over here. So take a screenshot of this, and ping Amit or call Amit, and Amit will give you all the details about the course payment, the timing, schedule, everything. Amit will keep you guys posted. All right, so any questions, please feel free to drop a message on the chat. Okay, so good, Abhi, as you pinged, that does not have synopsis. So there is a reason why there is no synopsis, and there is a way how to bring the synopsis onto your PowerShell. There is a way for it, which we will see. Okay, so please get in touch with Amit, and Amit will let you know about the schedule, and he will provide you the contents. And this course is going to be an advanced one. We are having topics. Okay, we are having topics related to advanced PowerShell, like the desired state configuration. We have topics on workflow. We have topics on the Windows forms. So all these advanced ones are added to this course. So you'll be definitely benefited out of it. Okay, Shiva, this Terraform and PowerShell both are different. They're not same. Terraform is different. PowerShell is different. All right, so team, thank you very much for taking time and joining this session. I appreciate that. So please enroll your classes with Amit. So Shubhan, yes, I will provide support to create, but I will be like a guide. I will not be spoon feeding to write everything from the scratch, but I will be a guide or a tester for your script. So you should write the script, give it to me. I will tell you whether it is right or not, and I'll also tell you to I'll help you to troubleshoot, but no spoon feeding. Okay, so I'm just trying to be very, you know, transparent. All right. So thank you very much, team. Appreciate your taken. Okay, so good. Questions are pouring now. Very good. So Subhan, not 20 plus. During the course itself, you will be able to write a script of up to 60, 70 lines during the course itself. So imagine after the course, you will be able to write up to 100 lines or even more. So it's all about logic. It's all about understanding the logic. If you know the logic, yes, you will be able to write even a 1,000 liner also, provided if there is a requirement, you will write it. Okay, that is how, because like scripting, it's very interesting. So you might have seen people just wearing a headphone and they write scripts all day also, right? So it's that interesting. You won't feel uh, boring when you start writing scripts. The time will fly like anything. So you will feel that as in when you start learning your scripting. language. Great. So Amanur, Exchange Online, I'm not going to cover specifically, but when you learn this course, not only Exchange Online, you take PowerShell in any technology for that matter, you will be able to write scripts and do automation. It's like that. It's like learning ABC. So when you know the alphabets, you know how to frame the words. Okay, you don't have to learn you don't have to learn separately for each and everything, right? That's the idea. So yes, you will be able to do things. You will be able to do things on Exchange Online, M365, Azure, anywhere and everywhere. PowerShell is there. So Subhan, as I told you, language is common. You can use it in any place. You can use it in any technology. That's the idea. Mhm. Okay, great. So good then. Thank you once again. And yeah, okay. So one, yes, anything you think of is possible to be automated, even if it is installation or anything that you do it on the GUI, you can do that on PowerShell with a much better control. For that, yes, you should know the components. You should know the basics of it. Okay, when you know the uh, components, you will be able to make use of the components in a better way. So Vijay, yes, this is not a free course, this is a paid course. Please check with Amit. He will guide you further. All right, great. Appreciate your interaction. Appreciate your time joining this call. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.